Imagine you're on your way somewhere when you suddenly see an animal that needs your help. Could you just walk right by? If not, then this video is for you. This poor deer couldn't see anything and was sure it was being stalked by a predator, but it turned out to be its personal guardian angel. A clumsy baby elephant fell into a ditch and thought his family was gonna leave without him. But instead, they called for people to come help, and with the help of an excavator, the humans were able to set their little one free. This mama elephant has more manners than most people I know. This wolf had been starving for so long that it finally had to ask a human for help, and this kind man had to act quickly, so he didn't hesitate to give away all the food he had.
Не бойся, не бойся, на. Ну на, не бойся, на.
And this poor soul hasn't seen the sun in a solid 10 years. Nobody's cared for this horse all this time, so its hooves have grown up to a meter in length. It will most likely never be able to walk again without pain, but with the help of caring people, now it can even run under the warm sun. And this man was certain that a parking lot was no place for a kitten to live, and just like that, the baby found its new, loving daddy.
It looks like she was just born.
A poor penguin stood no chance against a group of killer whales. Its only hope for escape turned out to be some people on a boat. Look at how overheated this poor duckling is. Poor thing. Thankfully, this man quickly realized what to do to save the bird's life. Now, this little guy can be reunited with his siblings. This fox decided to steal food right in front of some fishermen, but the man didn't get angry because he saw how hungry the animal was, so he decided to share instead. This gosling got stuck between some rocks while trying to reach its family. All it could do was wait for a miracle, and that miracle came in the form of this woman. A desperate mama dog was begging passersby to help her, but this man was the only person who took the time to follow her, and it saved 2 small but important lives. And now they're best friends forever. The edge of a field was an abandoned dog, but he rose to the challenge. This little monkey got stuck in the bars, and its parents couldn't do anything about it. Even the rescuers couldn't help because of the mother's panic. But they didn't give up and found a way to free the little one. After putting out a fireman noticed this unconscious kitten in the house. He could have just stepped over it, but he knew that every life is worth saving. A woman stumbled upon a very dehydrated cockatiel in the middle of the road, and that could only mean one thing.
Take you home. I hope you're okay.
Now, her family has one more happy baby.
Oh my God, I want to take him home. We can put him in the truck.
We could put him in the truck.
We can put him in the truck. Look at him. I got a chip.
This little guy met the most excited rescuer ever. When this bald eagle couldn't take off into the sky, these guys realized that something was wrong. They decided to help, but it wasn't easy for them to earn each other's trust. But they did it. After some rehabilitation, this beauty will once again be able to fly. To people in search of food, so now they have to take care of him. Look at this little guy. Mad respect for carrying a whole ecosystem on its back. But along with this pile of shells often comes parasites, so this man gets the turtle cleaned up and saves its life. These whales had almost made it to the open sea when they got stuck in the ice and started to panic. It took people 8 hours to free them and prevent them from suffocating in the process. This baby will definitely remember this day as the happiest of its life. Now get back to your family, baby shark doo 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 doo. These people stopped a huge herd of camels in the middle of the desert in order to save their lives. That's because they knew there wasn't a single source of water for the next 160 kilometers. If the owner of this house hadn't come home in time, this dog would not have lasted long in the 37 degrees Celsius heat. But now, this poor thing won't have to hide under the house ever again. A safari was interrupted when the guide noticed a zebra lying on the ground. The poor creature was very dehydrated, so everyone offered their own water to save the animal's life. This guy found these 2 baby sea turtles and was helping them to get to the ocean. He thought they were the only ones, but he soon realized that there were more lost little babies. These guys discovered a baby seal that was cut off from the ocean and too exhausted to find its way. But as soon as they brought it to the water, the pup immediately came to life. This fox got stuck in a wheel in a rather unfortunate way while searching for food, so people had no choice but to take it to the professionals. This crocodile fell into an empty well and might have become stranded there forever, but these brave people decided to fight for its life. It doesn't matter who believes in evolution and who doesn't. When it's hot outside, we all have to hydrate the same way. But that second one is really acting like a human. To keep from becoming too dehydrated, sometimes even powerful birds have to ask people for help.
Because it really hurts.
Imagine what it's like for a mother to hear the cry of her child and not be able to help. She was sure that the man was there to harm her baby, but she had him all wrong.
Come on, you're nearly back through. Come on then. Come on. Look. Here you are, look. Good boy. All right. Come on. Come on. He's a good boy. Go and protect your baby. You feeling a bit calmer?
After a bombing, the man living here lost everything. His dog didn't even have time to run out of the house. The odds were slim that the pup was still alive, but rescuers didn't lose hope. And then, a miracle. The owner of an animal shelter went to see what his dogs were barking about and heard a tiny kitten crying for help.
Joj, poštens. Joj, poštens.
It looks like a happy ending, but if he hadn't decided to come back the next day, these two wouldn't have survived. Things couldn't get any worse for this abandoned dog, and then he got electrocuted. The next 5 minutes of his life were critical, but he made it.
Olha! Oh, caraca!
We don't know how this cow ended up in a canal, but we do know that it would have been impossible to get her out without heavy equipment. Luckily, these workers weren't afraid to stop what they were doing and help. 2 cubs and their mother could have become a hearty meal for a pack of wolves if not for the courage of one forester.
Nie! Zostawcie!
Check out this enormous fin. It belongs to a 10-ton whale that got stuck in the mud in shallow water. It wouldn't have lasted until the tide came back in, so these kind folks stayed with it. Freezing to death is a terrible fate, but these donkeys miraculously survived the night at -40 degrees Celsius. Returning them to their previous owners was out of the question, but at least now they'll have a new home. Watch these elephants block people's way to ask them for help. They somehow realized that a vehicle was the only thing that could get their 8-month-old baby out of the pen. The way he immediately ran to his mother just breaks my heart. Humans shouldn't interfere with wildlife, but when this mountain vulture was left without a mother, people decided to take a chance. For 136 days, they fed the bird with a drone until it could fly on its own. Mama Drone is no longer needed. This guy couldn't think of another way to save this fox except to throw a rope down to it. Apparently, this is the Einstein of foxes. A sick puppy begged for help from every person that walked by, but everyone pushed her away because of how she looked. Everyone except this guy. He knew that this good girl could be cured and that she was worth it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, don't do it. Oh, okay, she's doing it.
We have no idea how this goat ended up on the power lines, but one thing's for certain. Its life was entirely in these people's hands. They tried to get the animal down, but failed and went straight to Plan B. So, you're old enough to have kids, but when it comes to your house, you immediately call mommy for help. Well, the ducks aren't different from humans. A goose without a beak can't eat even if the food is right in front of it. But this poor thing is lucky to be the first goose in history to have a 3D printed beak. Believe it or not, this moose approached humans on its own to ask for some water, and he was in luck. This little fox was in serious trouble and made the bravest decision of its life. It took to the road hoping that humans would help, and it worked. Watch as this man saves a baby bird from thirst. Moments like this make my heart melt. Imagine that you're a huge cobra and you come to a man for a drink and he gives you a shower. Some people are idiots. The island where a giraffe named Asiwa had lived all her life was rapidly sinking into water teeming with crocodiles. The best solution was to escort the animal to a safe place on a raft. The Ruko Reserve Team had been planning this rescue operation for several months, and it worked. If you think cancer's just a human thing, check out this 22-year-old great pied hornbill named Yari. A small crack in his beak eventually led to the whole thing being removed. Doctors managed to make a prosthesis, and it was such a good fit that the bird even dyed it yellow with a special pigment from his tail. Everyone had assumed that this dog was just pregnant, but it turned out that almost 10 liters of fluid had accumulated inside it. Fortunately, one person actually noticed and was able to get the dog some help. Thankfully, all these animals are going to be just fine. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next part.